New developments in the investigation of the president's son, Hunter Biden. The Washington Post is now reporting federal agents now think they have enough evidence to charge Hunter Biden with the tax crimes and for a false statement relating to a gun purchase. It will now be up to the Justice Department to decide whether it will pursue charges. NBC News has now independently confirmed the report. The DOJ is declining comment. Officials familiar with the matter tell NBC News the case is ongoing. Hunter Biden's attorney tells NBC News he has not communicated with any federal investigative agent and says it is a felony for a federal agent to leak information about a grand jury investigation such as this one. For more on this, let's bring in NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney. Ken, it's great seeing you. So NBC has reported previously there was a grand jury investigation into Hunter Biden's tax filings. What does it tell you about the status of the case now?
Great to be with you, Jose. Well, it suggests that the agents investigating the case think they have enough to bring charges, and that's actually not uncommon. And it's important to point out the agents aren't the ones who get to decide whether to bring charges. That decision will be made by prosecutors. In this case, the U.S. attorney in Delaware, who was appointed by former President Trump. He's a holdover. And the attorney general, who was appointed by President Biden, says he will have no role in this decision. And, you know, tax crimes there's a lot of prosecutorial discretion. A lot of people evade taxes in the United States and don't get charged criminally. And so it's the big question in this case is whether they think they have the evidence to prove that Hunter Biden intended to evade taxes.
And so these taxes would be in what kind of things?
So Hunter Biden made a lot of money, $11 million by NBC News' analysis between 2013 and 2018, including from some foreign companies, a Ukrainian energy company, some Chinese business interests. A lot of cash was coming in. And the records that, he left on his laptop that we've analyzed show that he wasn't paying the proper taxes on them. So he paid $2 million in a tax bill last year. So he's up to snuff now on his tax debt. But that doesn't absolve him if he intentionally evaded taxes.
Federal agents investigating President Biden's son, Hunter, believe they have a chargeable case against him, according to the Washington Post. Agents say they have, quote, sufficient evidence to regard to tax crimes and a false statement related to a gun purchase, according to the Post reporting, citing people familiar with the case. But let's be very clear here. It's up to prosecutors at the Justice Department, not federal agents, to decide whether or not to file charges against anyone. NBC News has not independently confirmed this report. The DOJ is declining comment. So, Ken, what more can you tell us about Hunter Biden? We've been hearing for quite some time. Charges are imminent. They're not going to do anything before the election because that would violate all kinds of protocols.
We're in the quiet period where they don't want to take action that could influence an election. This is about income that Hunter Biden earned as much as $11 million by NBC News' count between 2013 and 2018 that he didn't pay taxes on. And his lawyer acknowledged that he paid his tax bill of $2 million last year. But the question is, was it criminal tax evasion? And the Post is reporting that federal agents investigating the case believe they have a prosecutable case. But of course, it's up to the U.S. attorney in Delaware, who is a Trump appointee, to decide whether to bring charges. Attorney General Merrick Garland has said he will not be involved in this case. And look, there's a lot of tax evasion in this country that never gets prosecuted. So this is a case where prosecutorial discretion really comes into play.
And Joyce Vance, let's talk about the whole issue of Hunter Biden. It's obviously such a huge political issue that's been pushed for years and years now for Trump, by Trump and Trump forces. But there is a serious question here about the behavior of the president's son. As far as we can understand, there's nothing actionable regarding the Burisma investments because that, while unethical, arguably is not potentially illegal, but it's the tax issues that they're really looking at.
Well, Hunter Biden, like anyone else who violates criminal law, should be investigated, considered for prosecution, and prosecuted if the facts warrant that. It's important for people to understand that David Weiss, the U.S. attorney who is running this investigation, was a Trump appointee in Delaware. He was permitted to stay on when the other Trump U.S. attorneys mostly resigned. He will continue to stay on to shepherd this case, and he will make the decisions. And Andrea, I need to say, as a prosecutor who was in the game for 25 years, that I've never worked a case with agents, a complicated case, a white-collar investigation that went in for some time, where the agents weren't convinced that the evidence was sufficient to indict. But the agents get their statistic at the time that that indictment is returned, and it's up to prosecutors to take the case into court and to try it in front of a jury. The standard that prosecutors apply here is that they should not seek an indictment unless they believe they have sufficient evidence to both obtain a conviction at trial and to have it affirmed on appeal. And that's a very different sort of a calculation than the one that agents will make at this pre-indictment stage. You have to be confident that the law will be on your side given the evidence in your hand. And then finally, it's completely improper for anyone involved in the investigation to discuss it publicly. So if agents are doing that, they're in a lot of trouble here.
As Hunter Biden's lawyer was pointing out,